Hi everybody, this is Lucy. Um, well, I promised I was gonna make this video at some point. I'm sorry it took so long, but I really wanted to do this for the ones that haven't been able to talk to me or see me or kind of have a little bit more of a idea what actually happened. And I wanted to share my testimony and try to keep you updated in what happened, what has been going on lately, and what we expect to happen. I'm sorry if sometimes I get a little bit confused with words or I stumble with words, and my speech has gotten a lot better, but sometimes it's still a little bit hard to control it a little bit. So most of you must know already that on last May of this year, May 12th, the 12th, it was actually on my mom's wedding. I had a stroke while dancing with the little kids. I was trying to keep them entertained, and all of a sudden I just felt like I wanted to, like, I was gonna pass out. Like, I wanted to fall asleep. That's what I remember feeling. Like, I really wanted to go to the back of some car and just fall asleep. My body started feeling really numb. Like, slowly my body started disconnecting from my brain. At first I just sat down and they noticed that I was really dizzy and that I wasn't doing well. There was something wrong. They kept asking me what was going on, but I just told them I'm asleep. I feel like I'm gonna fall asleep and I can't control it. I feel like I'm gonna pass out. So they try to make me stand up to go outside to get some air. And when I tried to stand up, my knees just collapsed. My ankles and my knees collapsed, and um, I started to fall. And they grabbed me on time. They noticed that I couldn't walk at that time. At that moment I couldn't walk anymore, and so they lifted me up and they took me outside to try to get some air and figure out what was happening. And so I went outside. They laid me down somewhere. I think they put two chairs together or something like that, so I was laying down. And I remember people were trying to talk to me, and at some point my mom was trying to ask me how I was doing, what is it that I was feeling, what was wrong. And my tongue started to get numb, my speech started to just fail. I couldn't speak. I was kind of like duh, duh, duh. I just couldn't move. My eyes started to kind of fall to the back a little bit. So some people, which is something when I found out kind of hurt me, because I thought people knew me enough to at least realize that it wasn't the case. But some people even suggested that I was on some kind of drug, or that I had drank too much. And I was like, I don't drink, I don't take any drugs and whatever. But at the moment they thought anything could have been the case. And so they told my mom, don't waste a lot of money on a rescue if maybe she probably just sniffed on something. And even if I did, like, if there's something wrong, I need to call a rescue. But um so she didn't care, and she still called a rescue right away. And they came right away. They put me in a stretcher. We went down the stairs and they rushed me to the hospital. I was in Baptist Hospital. Fortunately, I got there on time to get a PTA, which is an injection that they give you to kind of thin the blood really quick in case you have another stroke. Many times you have one after the other one. And actually, a couple of days later, they found two more clogs running around in my legs. And they were able to dissolve that to prevent from another stroke, which most likely would have killed me. If not, at least left me like a vegetable or something like that. And I was lucky that didn't happen, that I got there on time. Um, I got there on time. Sorry, my phone is ringing. And so they were able to just take control of the situation. And I was pretty much just starting to pass out, and they wouldn't let me. They were trying to keep me conscious. So I remember most of it. I remember that I knew there was something really wrong going on, but I had a peace that I couldn't explain. I know that was God. Just kind of like, I knew that it was out of my control. So I was kind of like letting myself go, thinking, well, if this is it, then I know I'm going to see the Lord. and if not, then I know he'll take care of me. I kind of had that feeling when I went to the hospital. When I was on the way there, I just knew there was something really wrong, but I had a piece that I couldn't explain. The first time that I had some fear was when I realized I couldn't see well. By then, I had lost about 60% of my vision, which unfortunately I still haven't recovered. So I'm legally half blind or 60% blind, which is, I guess, the hardest thing to cope with right now. I don't get used to it. It's hard, but I just try to do what I can with what I have. I'll talk a little more about it later. Um, so yeah, they don't know the cost. They don't know exactly what might have cost it because obviously I'm too young for something like this. Usually it happens to older people. Um, but they don't know exactly what could have cost it. Maybe it was stress. Maybe, I mean, they don't know. They don't really know. They know why it got to the point of affecting me and turning into brain stroke. As you may know, most people in their lifespan, they usually have blood clots in their body, but they dissolve in time before it gets to become a heart stroke or a brain stroke. So in my case, what they did found was a small hole in the left ventricle of the heart, which it was supposed to be closed when I was a toddler. Like it happens to everybody. Like everybody, I think what I heard is that everybody has those little holes and eventually it closes up. In my case, it never closed up, and I never had any symptoms. I never had any way of knowing. I never had like a random test in my heart to see if why that was going on or anything. So apparently, what happened is that blood clot made a shortcut through that hole, and it went straight to the brain. So as soon as they found that, they scheduled surgery for the next day. So I actually also had heart surgery, and that's the one time that I remember being a little bit afraid, because it's something that you know it's going to happen, as opposed to the stroke that it just happened. So I remember being a little bit afraid when they were putting me to sleep, and I was just saying bye to my mom, and she was telling me, I see you when you wake up, and I was kind of like, I hope I do, because they're going to deal with my heart, and that's kind of like really, really sensitive to deal with, and it's always kind of risky. But thankfully it wasn't like a big surgery. It wasn't like they didn't have to open my chest or anything. They did a catheter through my leg, and they kind of directed the little cable, whatever tools they were using, to go through the inside, through the leg, all the way to my heart, and they sealed that hole to prevent it from happening again, at least for that reason, to prevent another clot to go through that hole and be shot to the brain. So everything went pretty well, but since I was on a lot of blood thinners, I did have a little bit of a hemorrhage during the surgery, and they had to do like an emergency close up, and they had to close that side and open on the other side of the leg to redo it because I was losing too much blood. And they were able to get that under control and continue the surgery, and it was pretty successful. So I was glad when I did wake up. I was all swollen and just kind of like druggy because of all the meds and everything. I still couldn't move my left side, so the brain happened on the right side, almost to the back. So it affected my left side, my motor skills on the left side of my body, and it affected my sight. The stroke happened near the or through the optical one of the optical nerves, so that's why it affects. The problem can be really fixed from the outside, like with glasses or anything like that, because it's internal. So what happened, it kind of obstructed the nerve to receive the image, the information. So I lost the left side of both eyes. So it's with this side I can only see my right side. With this eye I can only see my right side. And on that right side I still have some blind spots and sometimes a little foggy. Sometimes I get double vision. So I lost around 60%, and that is the one I've seen about the latest update is that I've gotten about 85% of movement back, which is good on my left side. I mean, I couldn't even open my hand or move my fingers like that. I couldn't do that, which was so frustrating at first. I just, something that you just do every single day that is so normal and automatic, all of a sudden, I remember just having so much stress on trying to move my pinky, and it was all this focus and energy focus on that, just that one little pinky, and I couldn't move it. And I remember I would just cry in frustration because it's something like, how could I not move a pinky? I mean, I've done this all my life. And thankfully, because I've had a lot of therapy through the first month and a half, and it was very like hardcore therapy, occupational therapy. I had speech therapy. I had physical therapy all together. It really helped a lot. I've been taking a lot of supplements, so that, I guess that's helped a lot too. And just trying to stay motivated, stay somehow active. And thankfully, I've had a fast recovery compared to a lot of stroke survivors. I'm blessed to be able to move around. I mean, up to a month and a half ago, I still needed help with taking showers and getting dressed and cutting my food and simple tasks like that. Fortunately, I've gotten independent enough where I can do those things by myself. Sometimes I do need little helps, like maybe like strapping the back of my bra, or just lifting certain things or finding things, walking around or crossing the street, like stuff like that outside. The doctor said that I'm not ready to be crossing streets and taking buses and just being by myself. So that's another impediment right now that I have to deal with. I can't really drive anymore. I can't just use public transportation like I used to on my own. So that does limit me a lot. We're actually currently trying to look for someone that would drive me to work and back. And since they gave me STS, which is transportation for the disabled, by the government, but they only gave it to me for a month. So I have to try to apply for permanent, and that takes several months if they approve it. So we're still in that process. And yeah, well, that's my update. That's how it happened. Those were the consequences. So what's going on now? That the whole fundraising that you've heard about, which you can find in heroesforlucy.com. That was mostly just to cover medical bills and whatever treatments I've been willing to try to see if it could help with recovery and to gain my strength back and my sight back. I heard about some treatment they did in a clinic with I forgot the name of this drug, but it was pretty costly. It was gonna be like $5,000, and that's why it all started, the whole fundraising. And then at the end, I decided that I wasn't gonna do it because it seemed like the side effects could be pretty terrible. So I figured I'm not so bad to the point that I would risk so many contraindications and just side effects, having those, just to get that 25% that I'm missing on my movement, and maybe perhaps some of my sight back. So I opted to try something more towards the natural medicine side, and I found out about this natural medicine supplement called NeuroAid that is supposed to help you make reconnections in the brain, like between the neurons. And I got to speak with some of the patients that they have, some of the people using it. They put you in touch with people that have had recovery in the areas that you're trying to get better with. And I spoke with one person that was pretty crazy actually. He went for surgery. He went to surgery for a prostate operation, and he woke up blind because apparently he had a stroke while he was having the operation, which was pretty crazy when I heard about that. So I spoke with his wife, and she told me that they heard about NeuroAid and they started trying it, and he has recovered sight from one eye and still waiting to see some more recovery from the other eye, but he's recovered a lot of movement and all of that. The little movement that he had lost, he recovered it. So I heard a couple of testimonies and I thought, why not give it a shot? I mean, it makes a lot of sense how it works. So I did that, but it was $1,300 with shipping and everything. And I figured, if this kind of treatments are going to cost me this much, I'm not going to be able to do it on my own. I already lost a whole month of work by being in the hospital and giving me some time to recover afterwards. So I already had a gap of money there. And my parents both work, but they don't really make that much. So it's more like I try to help them sometimes. So, and then when I realized I was getting bills added up, because thankfully this is a miracle and favor from the Lord, which was a huge blessing. They did cover all the facility fees at the hospital, Baptist Hospital, which was gonna be at the end $150,000 probably between that and surgery and everything, which was gonna be obviously impossible for me to pay ever. So they cover that, but some of the doctors that worked in my case, obviously they do separate billing. So I've had those coming in and they're like pretty high. Actually I have a couple here. This was $800 from the, I don't know, pulmonary care, like urgent care, because since that little hole was next to my the hole in the heart was against the wall of the heart that touches or it's against the lung. So that's why they had to have like a bunch of specialists for the heart, for the lungs, and for everything. And obviously each one of them charges a lot of money. The ophthalmologist, the hematologist, and all those. Not only that, I have to do follow-up visits, and obviously, and without insurance, the appointments start from $200 and up. So I soon have to visit the hematologist, which is the specializes in blood. I still have to try to figure out what is it that caused it, and they have to kind of study my blood and everything. And that appointment, it's $200, I believe. The cardiologist that was treating me for a follow-up visit is $400. And then another thing that I didn't mention on the written part of the testimony on the website, it's because I thought it was going to be too much to write about. But before the stroke, I was actually dealing with another medical issue regarding my hormones. I have a strong hormonal disorder, which causes a lot of very, very annoying symptoms. One of them is the weight gain, which is something I've been dealing forever with, and just affecting like my periods and all this, everything that, all the magical things that women have that we need to deal with. So and when I started to get some studies for that, they were looking for cysts to see if I had cysts on my ovaries, and they didn't find cysts on my ovaries, but they did find a small benign tumor on my uterus, which was kind of bothering me a lot. It was causing some pain and some discomfort. So they found a small fibroid in my uterus. So all of that, I was still starting to deal with that before the stroke, and I never went back to that. So it's something that I still need to deal with, and I need to start seeing the endocrinologist and start getting treatment. And I need a bunch of blood tests. I already have the first prescription for the labs, and that's gonna be $400, and it's the cheapest they can give it to me for. What else? The endocrinologist visit is $150 per visit. I need to follow up with that. If they decide to go into studying the pituitary, then that's extra tests, probably some more brain scannings and stuff like that. So everything just keeps adding up, and it's, when you think about it, it's just thousands of dollars. What else I need to do? I believe it's called an echocardiogram or an echogram, something like that, to check up on my heart to see how it's working after surgery, if the little seal is still there, if everything is in place, just to avoid, the risk of another stroke happening again. So there's a lot still ahead of me, and plus all, the money we've invested in new supplements that supposedly help me with the recovery of my motor skills. I need to go to the ophthalmologist also to see if there's anything we can do about my sight. So pretty much that's what's up, and that's what we've been trying to get some help with, because it's really been out of hand, and it's definitely out of my hands. I'm extremely thankful for the help that I have received so far from all my friends and people on Facebook that has contributed to my fundraising, and that has allowed me to make several doctor's appointments already, get some tests done, get some of my medicine. Oh, I didn't even include the medicine. I need to be on several medicines for about a year. Blood thinners and stuff to control my cholesterol in case it goes a little bit above. Thankfully, it's been normal. It was normal even before the stroke, so it wasn't cholesterol that caused it. But they still need to keep it under the normal limit just in case. So there's medication for that. And then, well, whatever supplements I've been adding up, just, like that would help me with the whole, just with brain support and brain function. So that's pretty much what we were hoping to cover with the fundraising, and we will be more than thankful and really appreciate anybody that's been willing to help. Just like I mentioned there on the page, there's not like a minimum requirement. You don't have to donate $100, $300, $5,000. It's not like that. I mean, anything from $5 to $5 has been adding up, and it's been really helping, and that's all we've been. It's something that is really hard for me. Like, I've been always very open to give, and my life has been the whole serving and giving, and it's one of my love languages, gifting. But I've always had trouble receiving for some reason. So this whole coming here and just trying to ask for money, and it's been hard to do because I know that everybody's struggling, and I know that everybody's dealing with different things, and I know that it's a sacrifice for everybody. So it's hard to do it, but I do have to accept and admit that I do need help in this. Obviously, my hopes are not completely on just the therapy or the treatments or the doctor visits. I mean, part of what they've been telling me is that it's limited what they can do. They haven't even guaranteed that I will get my sight back, so I do have to rely on God a lot more. And I do try every single day. I have to make a step of faith and decide to believe Him, decide that there's still hope, that He has the ability and the power to heal me overnight. But for some reason, I think the biggest process for me has been trying to accept in my heart His will, whatever that is. In the past, He's chosen to heal some people and not to heal some other people, and I have to give Him the glory either way. And it's something that is a daily decision that is hard to make, and it's heartbreaking at times. Some people tell me, "Oh, but you're so strong." I think I know God chose you for you to go through the situation because you were strong enough to take it. And I mean, I've been strong enough through a lot of situations in my life, but to be honest, sometimes I feel this is beyond me, and I'm not that strong every day. Sometimes I just wake up and I just want to cry the whole day. It's very frustrating being all bruised up because I can't just keep on, I keep on bumping into stuff because I can't see them, or it's just, I miss being independent again, being able to move around by myself. And obviously everybody has their big plans and everything, and I've had to surrender all of that to God because I don't even know how much of it I'll be able to do anyways. Even the simple stuff like going to school or anything like that, you know. So it's a lot that I've had to just surrender and just completely rely on Him, and through everybody that has been blessing me and just supported me emotionally, spiritually, in prayer, and financially. And I have no words to describe how thankful I am for that. So I just wanted to encourage you that my heart is open. I do still need the prayers. I do still need your support, your encouragement. a daily thing for me. It's a daily decision to stay positive, to try to let him be my joy, let him be enough, and find joy in him and the people around me, and just the little things, to keep my head above the water and trust him that he has a plan with all this and that it's gonna work for good. And just whatever questions you may have, you know, feel free to contact me, write me, text me, call me. I'm here if you want to exchange prayer, you want to pray for me, I'll pray for you. Just let me know, because I do need prayer requests. I need more reasons to pray for, because they say that it helps when you take your focus out of yourself and you focus on someone else and blessing someone else's life. You give the platform to God for him to work in your life and the things that are out of your hands. So I want to do that. I want to be able to focus on the needs of others and the hurts of others, so I can forget about my things and just let them work and try to be less in control, less frustrated. I don't want to stay bitter. I don't want to keep questioning him why. I don't know why. I still don't know why. Maybe one day I will. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll find out when I get to heaven. I don't know. I do know that my whole life turned around. I know that I'm thankful that I'm even alive, because it was a really close call. I could have not made it. I could have survived and stay a vegetable my whole life, and I didn't. So obviously he still has some plans with me here. And if you want to keep it in prayer, just pray. My prayer request is that you pray that he just continues to give me strength through the whole process, to give me patience to wait on him, whether he's just delaying my healing or if it's something I just need to deal with for the rest of my life, whatever it is, just to give me the strength to endure it, the patience to give me compassion for others, so that this doesn't affect my serving others and just doing what I've always wanted to do, to serve others. Also, well, for my sight recovery, for my voice recovery, it got a little affected after, because I can't control my vocal cords as well as before. Those of you that know that my passion was singing, you know what that means for me. So it's something that I've been begging to get back. Obviously I want to use it for him, so not out of vanity or anything. It's something that I enjoy doing at church and for others. Well, for God mainly, and just to heal my heart above everything, because I think this has been mostly hard. It's been really hard physically, but it's been a lot harder emotionally, and just that, for healing, overall healing, I guess, and just for doors to be open in all the situation, medically and financially. Other than that, I think that's it. I didn't want to make it half an hour long, but at least you have a good idea of what's been going on and where my heart is at the moment about the situation. How am I doing physically? And yeah, again, if you have any questions or concerns, just get in touch with me, either through Facebook, through the comments in the video, through my phone, whatever it is. Thank you for watching. Thank you for keeping me in your hearts, for keeping me in your prayers, for all your help, whether you help financially or are planning to do so. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. It really does. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. God bless. Bye-bye.